Hi, these are your energy stories for the first week of March 2024. And in the first one, the Washington legislature voted along party lines to adjust its carbon pricing system to make it compatible with California's and Quebec's cap and trade systems. Washington's largest carbon emitters bid every 3 months on the amount of carbon emissions they can release under its program. The state is negotiating with California and Quebec to coordinate their carbon markets with expectations of increased efficiencies. The earliest any alliance could occur is 2025, assuming the Cap and Invest program survives a November referendum on whether it should be repealed. The International Airlines Group has committed to its largest sustainable alternative fuel purchase to date. Producer 12 will deliver 785,000 tons of electrically derived sustainable aviation fuel, or e-SAF, deploying power-to-liquid technology. While traditional SAF is made from non-petroleum feedstocks such as waste fats and plant sugars that were used by Virgin Atlantic on its 2023 SAF flight, e-SAF is a synthetic drop-in fuel that can reduce life cycle CO2 emissions up to 90%, produced using water, clean energy, and captured CO2 from large emitters. The deal will support 5 European airlines in the IAG, including British Airways, Iberia, Aer Lingus, Vueling, and Level. New York is offering offshore wind contracts to Equinor's Empire One, an 810-megawatt project located 15 to 30 miles southeast of Long Island, and Ørsted's 924-megawatt Sunrise Wind, 30 miles east of Montauk. This resulted from last year's wind solicitation, in which existing projects whose economics were no longer viable in the face of supply chain issues and other constraints were allowed to rebid at new price points. As part of the deal, the project developers will be responsible for $2 billion in economic development and creation of about 800 jobs. Other states, including New Jersey, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut, have taken similar approaches, allowing a number of distressed offshore projects to rebid. The IRS Biden administration rules affecting eligibility for clean hydrogen tax credits are coming under some considerable pressure. You may recall the December IRS ruling said that renewables-generated hydrogen would only be eligible if electrolyzer projects met 3 conditions. They had to show an hourly match between consumption and corresponding output of renewables tied to the project. Those renewables had to be locally sourced, and they had to come from projects built no more than 3 years before the electrolyzers were commissioned. Now these rules have come in for criticism from the 7 regional hydrogen hubs that were designated by the DOE late last year to accelerate the hydrogen industry. In a letter, these hubs commented that the approach, quote, may have far-reaching consequences for the entire domestic clean hydrogen industry, unquote. Other companies are also pushing for more relaxed rules, arguing that the current stringent approach will stifle the industry at birth. Reports suggest that some DOE officials are also arguing for looser requirements. Stellantis is bringing its 500e electric back to the U.S. in March. The last time, this EV was sold purely for compliance reasons, and Fiat lost money on every model sold. This time, it's a for-profit venture, and when it does roll quietly off the lot, it will be the lightest U.S. passenger EV with one of the lowest price tags as well, at just over $34,000, and a low range too, at 149 miles. It should be a pretty good indicator as to whether the American market will support an urban, low-cost, low-range EV. The Texas wildfires demonstrate yet again the financial threat that utilities face in a more volatile climate. Xcel Energy filed an 8K with the SEC less than a week after the million-acre smokehouse fire, notifying them that as of February 26th, fires were burning in or near the service territory of Southwestern Public Service Company. 2 days later, Xcel Energy said it received a letter from a law firm acting on behalf of various property insurance interests whose insureds were allegedly adversely affected by the Smokehouse Creek fire, providing Xcel Energy, quote, with notice of potential exposure for damages resulting from the Smokehouse Creek fire, and to request that a fallen SPS utility pole that is situated within the vicinity of the fire's potential area of origin be preserved, unquote. California Pacific Gas and Electric knows from bitter experience the risks associated with high winds, dry timber, and energized lines, as does Hawaiian Electric. In the future, proactive de-energization of lines may become an increasingly common outcome in many parts of the world when winds are high. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.